Congratulations on your new Barbarian Destroyer basketball system, the premier hoop for novices and pros alike. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know in order to get your new Barbarian system installed quickly and safely. So get ready to conquer the court. Delivery day. 7 to 10 days after your order is placed, you will receive a call from the shipping company in order to set up a delivery time. Be sure to move any cars or other obstacles so that the driver has plenty of room to maneuver. Before signing any appropriate paperwork, be sure to inspect all the boxes for any damage. If any items are damaged, be sure to refuse the entire order, and another unit will be shipped out to you right away. If everything looks good, then sign away and get ready to gear up for installation day. After you have decided on the best location for your new Barbarian Destroyer, step 1 of the installation process is digging the hole, which we will cover in this video. Before you dig, be sure to call 811 and schedule an appointment to have all the power, gas, water, and other lines marked on your property to avoid any potential injury while digging. Here is an example of what the markings will look like. Before you get started, here are a few tools that you will need to help the digging go smoothly. If you wish for the goal to be centered on your driveway or court, be sure to measure and mark the ground clearly. Measure 12 inches in both directions, and then up 24 to give you a 24 by 24 inch square. This 24 inch square will need to go 48 inches deep into the ground. Use your markings as a template and start digging your hole. Use the shovel to start in order to keep the edges of the hole smooth and clean. Next, use a steel spike along the outer edge of the hole to break loose large chunks of dirt. After a few rounds with the spike, use a set of post hole diggers to remove all the loose dirt from the hole. As you dig, make sure to check the depth periodically, and also make sure that you are maintaining a 24 by 24 inch square. Repeat these steps until you have attained a 48 inch depth. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to visit barbarianbasketballsystems.com for more instructional videos and other great basketball systems and products. In this video, we will be covering the assembly of the ground kit anchor system. Pictured here are all the components that make up the ground kit. Be sure to assemble this kit before you start to pour any concrete. Let's start by measuring down all 4 J-bolts 4 inches and making a mark. Next, thread 1 nut onto each of the J-bolts until the top of the nut rests on your mark. Now you're ready to place the J-bolts in the steel plate and secure them as shown here. The steel template plate is used to hold the J-bolts in position. After the kit has been installed and the concrete is cured, the plate can be removed or left in place based on your preference. Now your anchor kit is complete. Be sure to have the anchor kit handy when you start to pour the concrete. In this section of the video, we will be mixing and pouring concrete into our newly dug hole, along with placing and leveling the ground kit. If you are mixing the concrete by hand, you will need 20 to 25 bags of 80-pound Quikrete to fill the 24 by 24 by 48 inch deep hole. Make sure you are wearing a respirator or some other form of protective mask before opening any bags of concrete. Mix one bag at a time and be sure to add water gradually to achieve a medium consistency. After the hole is about halfway full of concrete, place the 4 pieces of rebar that came with the ground kit in the bottom of the hole as shown here. After the hole is full, smooth the top with a trowel and place the pre-assembled ground kit into the concrete like so. Use a carpenter's square and a 3-foot level to make sure that the bolts are aligned with the playing surface properly. This is a critical step because once the concrete dries, there is no way to make changes. Using the level as a guide, in this picture we can see that the ground kit is squared on the playing surface nicely. In this video, we will be showing you how to level the anchor bolts to prepare for the installation of the main pole. After the concrete has cured for 7 days, the foundation is ready for the system to be bolted down. To level the anchor bolts, start by loosening all the nuts slightly and then using a small level to make sure that each nut is level with the next. After all the nuts are leveled, place one flat steel washer over each nut. Now you're ready to raise the pole. In this video, we will be raising the main pole onto the ground kit and securing it. Let's start by first moving the pole in front of the ground bolts as shown here. It is recommended that when raising the pole, no less than 4 men attempt this step to do so safely. The 2 techs in this video are able to do this with less people because of the high level of experience that they both have with this particular system. After the pole has been raised, place the steel washers and nuts on the bolts and tighten them down. After the pole has been raised, the last thing to do is insert the cranking handle into the back of the pole and lower it all the way down to 5.5 feet in preparation for the installation of the backboard. Once the crank handle stops, do not crank any further or damage may be caused to the system. In this section, we will be installing the upper control arms onto the main pole. Here is a picture of the hardware that you will need. With the long bolt in hand, place a steel washer followed by a plastic washer onto the bolt. Next, place the bolt through the control arm, followed by another plastic washer as shown here. The ends of the arms are the same, so you can start with either side. Now you are ready to place the bolt with the control arm attached through the top hole of the main pole. Have someone hold the arm while you place the second arm on the other side using the same washer pattern and securing it with a nut. Be sure not to over-tighten the nut as the arms need to move freely. In this section, we will be installing the backboard. You will need at least 3 people to perform this step successfully. Let's start by locating the bolt and washers that secure the bottom of the backboard to the main arm. Place a steel washer, followed by a plastic washer, onto the bolt. Have 2 strong individuals lift the backboard into position while the third person inserts the bolt. After placing the washers, the nut can be tightened. Now we are ready to raise the backboard and attach the upper control arms. Once the backboard is up and in place, the upper control arms will be attached as shown here. Snug the nut down, but take care not to over-tighten since these are moving parts. Now that the backboard is on, you are ready to install the rim. In this section, we will be installing the rim and the net onto the backboard. 2 people will be needed for this step. Let's start by locating the rim and all of its hardware. Next, take 2 bolts and place the metal washers on each before passing them through the top holes on the rim. Place the rim onto the backboard while passing the bolts through the top holes. The other person can then place a steel washer followed by a nut onto each of the bolts. Perform the same step for the bottom bolts as well. Next, we can attach the rim plate. Place the plate below the rim and hand tighten the screws on each side as shown here. Now that the rim is installed, you can attach the net and remove the protective plastic from around the backboard. Now that the rim is installed, you can remove the protective tape from the outer edges of the backboard. Next, we will be attaching the gas strut onto the main arm and the main pole. The black end of the strut will attach to the arm. Place the retaining pin through the strut and the arm and push on the clip firmly to lock it into place. Next, you will need to raise the system up so that the bottom of the strut can be attached to the main pole. Since the lift assisting strut is not yet in place, have someone push up on the backboard to make raising easier. Then attach the small bottom clip in the same fashion as the top. In this section, we will be installing the backboard padding. Take the pad and hold it in place against the backboard. This will act like a template for marking the holes with a pencil or marker. Make sure they can be seen clearly for drilling in the next step. Next, use a punch on each mark. This will help keep the bit straight when you start to drill. Now you can drill out all the marked holes. Next, have someone hold the padding on the backboard while you drill the supplied self-tapping screws into place. To install the pole padding, first place the base pad around the pole and secure the Velcro straps. Then place the large pole pad above it and secure its Velcro straps as well. Here we will be installing the height adjustment and warning stickers. The crank warning sticker should be placed on the rear of the pole just over the crank handle. Before placing the height sticker, you will need to raise the rim to 10 feet exactly. Use a tape measure to verify this. Now you can install the arrow sticker on the main arm, followed by the height sticker on the main pole. Be sure the arrow and 10-foot mark line up exactly. Each system comes with a bolt to fix the system height at 10 feet. If you wish to disable the adjustment feature of your system, simply raise the rim to 10 feet, insert the bolt, and tighten as shown here. Do not use the crank with this bolt in place or the system will be damaged. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to visit BarbarianBasketballSystems.com for more instructional videos and other great basketball systems and products.